Hi, you may recognise this as a Sega Mega Drive 2 UK console. It's a spare one that I've got that I'm looking to sell, but I've noticed there's a problem with the power connector. Basically, it's intermittent, console will cut out, wiggle the cable, it comes on, goes off, comes on, goes off. So, I've taken it apart. Here's the main board, upside down here. Show you the other side just so you can see. Now, the power connector, I mean the board's actually in really good condition. The console itself is in really good condition as well. There's the IO shield, RF shield there, bottom half of the case, and power connector's at the back just here. And if I turn it around, you can see that will look pretty good. It's not loose or anything, but if you turn the board over, have a look at the solder points, see if we can get focus on there. There we go. Okay, you can probably see pretty well straight away where the problem is. Take a screwdriver to show you. Just here, the solder's cracked around that point there. Dry solder joint. And that's causing the intermittent connection. You'll see if I wiggle the power connector, or you might see there's a bit of play in that. So I've just got my soldering iron here, and I'm going to solder it, well, reflow the solder, and then we should be all good to go. Right, for some reason, something wasn't seeming quite right about this connection. You'll see what I've done, I've actually given it a bit of a clean. When I reflowed the solder, it wasn't flowing onto the contact, I was getting a gap where the join was. I was able to get it to bridge the gap on one side, and then as soon as I heat it up again, it would just move away. So something doesn't quite add up, so I've cleaned it up, removed the solder from there. I'm just going to remove the solder from the other 2 points, and I'm going to take the connector off and inspect it. Right, here's the connector removed from the board, and like I said, something didn't add up. It's actually this, the pole on the centre of the plug. You'll see where the, if we can focus on there again, where the leg actually comes out the back to go into the board, we've got some sort of deposit on there, presumably as a result of the arcing that would have been happening inside the console every time it failed to well, every time it lost connection, because it was a loose connection, there probably would have been some arcing which may have caused that on there. There's the board with the connector removed, so you can see. So I'm going to clean that up a bit, give it a clean, and then try and refit it to the board. So there's the connector after I've done what I can to clean it up. It looks a lot better now. So I'm just going to try and tin it with some solder and then put it back on the board. Right, there we have the connector back on the board now. I've resoldered it, the solder's flown much better over that connector now. There it is. So I'm just going to check it with a multimeter to make sure that the connections aren't shorted out at all. One of the problems with soldering anything like this is, of course, the soldering iron and the solder have to be very hot to melt. Metal points have to be hot to get a good joint, but the connector is plastic, so you can only heat it for a second or two at a time. Otherwise you risk melting the plastic, and of course the metal legs of the connector will hold the heat. So yeah, it's just a case of being very careful and quite quick with the job. I think we're good here, but I'm just going to double check it before I connect it to any power supply to make sure it's not shorting. Okay, so I've got my multimeter hooked up, and you'll see this is quite difficult to do one-handed, but if I connect the 2 ground points there, I should get, yeah, there's no resistance there. Take the connectors off, goes back up to 1, put them on 0, okay, but then if I join one of those to the live, I should get, yeah, there's nothing, there's no connectivity there at all, so that's good. That means they're not shorted. So just put it back together and test it. Okay, it's a bit of a crude job here because I haven't actually put any of the screws back into the case yet, but I just wanted to show you testing it now. I've got the power supply, it's on at the mains, okay, plugged in, press the power button, power comes on, off. And when it's on, I can wiggle the connector quite a lot, and we're not losing connectivity there, so I'd say that's a successful job there. And here is the console. I've put all of the case screws back in, put it all back together properly now, hooked it up to the TV, and I'm just going to switch it on to test if it's working okay. There we go, and we got a picture. Bearing in mind this is running through an RF lead, so it won't be the best quality picture we can get. But there we got a Sega logo, looks good. Yeah, we got sound as well, nice solid picture. Controls working fine. Just gonna start the game. Sonic 2 classic. There we go, that all looks beautiful. And give the connector a wiggle. You see it's all nice and solid there. All in all, I think that's a pretty successful job there. So thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want to see more videos.